Hello friends and good morning. Welcome to Let's Play Night Call. I'm your host, MagicManMo. What is up with the green screen right now? Hang on. Is it this light? I think it was literally one light being off. Oh, good morning. Welcome to the morning show where we play a game in the morning. What is happening? The game is not up yet. It's coming up. We have a short stream this morning. We are going to be playing for a little over an hour. Not crazy long. I'll be getting up in about 15 minutes to go grab myself some coffee. But yeah, we're continuing where we left off with Night Call yesterday. Welcome to the stream, McClouster. I see you in the chat over there already. Welcome. Where did we leave off in this? We're I don't know. I don't remember exactly where we left off, but we were gathering information about a serial killer who's already attempted to kill us once, and now we are seeking to put him behind bars, perhaps. Continue. We're night 4, if you can believe it. Night 4. We play as whatever our name is, a cab driver. I don't even remember. You open one eye. I think we saved. Someone flushes the toilet and you hear the pipe shake. One of them runs under your bed. That's horrible. You find the sound calming. Well, at least you could see things on the bright side. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio, night 4. I don't remember that little bit of dialogue, but it is 3 in the morning? We stopped at a weird place. we stopped in the middle of a night, apparently. Apparently, we didn't quite finish the night, which just surprises me. I literally didn't remember exactly where we left off. But we have a little bit of time to get somebody. We've got these two to pick between. We could listen to the radio if we wanted to. It takes up a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and sneak a fare in. Let's try to hit this guy, maybe. Because this looks like Dennis, but I don't think he's wearing the hat. Oh, it's Hervé. Hervé Grayu. Hey, pal, can you help me out? Hervé. Isn't that the bum? Oh, that's one of the suspects. But he's not the one that I think is actually the killer. He's only going 8 kilometers and paying very well for it. What's the goal of this game? We're collecting information on a serial killer. And we're trying to collect enough evidence to help Busset, I don't know what her name is, to help her actually put the man behind bars. Or woman. One of the suspects is a woman, but we, as an eyewitness, seem to remember he was a man. The door opens. It's Hervé, a homeless man like hundreds of others in Paris. I got an achievement for that. It was in French. I don't know what it said. It takes place in Paris. You have a bag. Making me nervous. Sounds spoopy. It's really not. But like I don't know that spoopy is the right word, but a little bit. The idea definitely could be. You've known each other for years, and every now and then he asks a favor of you to drive him someplace. Oh, we've known this guy for years, and he's one of the main suspects. I don't think it's him. I don't think we have enough evidence to say it's him. The only thing is that, like, a wallet was stolen, and I think one of the victims was semi-rich or whatever. Like, that's all we've got to go on. Like, there's, like, no real evidence on this guy. As usual, he greets you quietly, though he always seems a little on edge. Oh, yeah, he's homeless. Hey, buddy, what's up? He has a strange verbal tick that you've never really understood. You start the cab. Your passenger keeps looking over his shoulder, clearly worried. Is everything okay, Hervey? Yeah, sure, no worries. His voice trails off. He seems to be collecting himself. It's just, there's a cop on my tail, jail. A cop? Yeah, has anybody come around asking about me? There actually is a cop on his tail. It's Busset. Or Busset. I don't actually know. Oh, cheese cracker. Oh no, gasp, your dog. That's very bad. What do you mean? You know, like from the crime squad? Nah, nobody's talking to me about you. That guy's been driving me crazy, asking all those questions, digging up my past. You know what I mean? See if we can get some info out of him. Maybe he'll open up to us because we seem to know each other. Digging up your past, like my old girlfriends and stuff, where I used to live, why I left the shelter. At first I thought it was that killer, you know, the serial killer. That he was after me. Why would he be after you? But because I saw his face. Yeah, did you? He pauses, just enough time for your brain to process the information. You gotta look at the judge? Your passenger gives you a funny smile. Ooh, Jesus, I saw him in profile mile. Farts, welcome to the stream. I'm so glad you could make it. Hello, welcome, welcome. He looked in a mirror. Fireball. He looked in a mirror and saw himself. I don't know. I really don't think it's this guy. Although, if what he says is true, that does indicate that the judge is a he, which again further puts in my mind that it's one of the men and not the women, not the one lady suspect we have. Because for me, I was really leaning towards her early on in the investigation, but then we keep getting all these he. So it's like, okay, it must be a guy, right? His profile or his face? Well, when? I don't want to seem like I'm trying to, I don't want to seem like I'm poking around too hard. Well, I saw him. You know, a few weeks ago when he did his last victim. I was like sleeping in an alley just across from the street where, well, you know, he killed the last victim. My stomach hurt. I couldn't sleep and, you know, I saw him in profile. He had this weird way of walking, sort of hunched over as if he were tired. That's all? Yeah, that's all I saw. He had on black gloves and the street were dark. I didn't see anything else. He's staring at you. That could mean, if he's hunched over like he's tired, that could mean he's older, because one of our suspects, the one that I'm leaning toward, is an older gentleman. Tequila. A fuzzy green screen keeps appearing behind me. Thank you for telling me. It's my green screen. It keeps doing that. It keeps doing that. I don't know why. I had my lighting set up to fix the green screen. It's making my my face. There it is. Hang on. Is it my hand? It's the whiteness from my hand. The white balance on my hand is screwing up the green screen. That's super annoying. I don't know if I have a way of fixing that, honestly. I'm just checking. If I lean forward. Yeah, it's because I'm leaning forward. It's getting the white balance all off. I don't like... One of the things that I hate the most about this whole freaking streaming thing and YouTube thing and everything is that I decided at one point in time to go green screen, and it has never been easy. I freaking hate doing the freaking green screen. I mean, I want it. I don't want to have the giant square that a lot of other Let's Players and streamers do, like the giant square. I hate that more, but I hate messing with this freaking green screen. It's okay, it's not that annoying. It annoys me. I want it fixed, because it only ever happens when I'm not looking. Okay, he's staring at you. But why do you care, man? Le Sans Abri. I got another achievement for that. I think I saw him too. I might give him some of that. I might give him a little bit, because I think he's getting nervous, because he's already a little unnerved by the cop that's asking about him. I think I saw him too. The killer? Yeah. Shit, I didn't know. What happened? When? There's a note of urgency in his voice. Maybe because he's the killer and he wants to know how much we know, or maybe because, again, he wants to confirm whether or not he saw the killer 3 months ago. Yeah, at least I think I did. Not long ago. 3 months ago. I thought it was last month. Maybe it's been 3 months. Three months ago. It must have been scary. You've got to be careful with guys like that. They're crazy, not right in the head. His face creases into a cruel smile like a naughty child. And I know what I'm talking about. But man, if that cop comes around and talks to you again, you tell him to go screw off for me, all right? I never said there was a cop with me. I never said that. A note of anger has crept back in his voice. Goddamn cops, they're never there when we need them. I sure as heck ain't gonna help, yo. They can go kick sick. He looks away, furious. You keep quiet and focus on the road. All of a sudden, your passenger gives the seatbelt in front of him a thump. Hey, stop right there, near. You slow down and pull over as soon as you can. Okay, I'm out of here. Is everything alright? Yeah, sure, no worries, just a little business to take care of. The door opens, then closes, and Hervé vanishes into the darkness. You open the window on your side. You're dying for a cigarette, to relieve the pressure, to calm your racing heart. You take a deep breath and drive away. Oh, he didn't even pay us. Well, that's annoying. That's incredibly annoying. I was promised a pretty good fare. It makes you wonder why he bounced. Ah, man, I hope we didn't give away too much. I hope he's not the serial killer and we gave away too much. We could have. We may have done it for ourselves. It's possible. Don't smoke. Call the cops on him. I've got not. Well, he's not done anything wrong, so I actually don't have anything to call the cops on him about. That's kind of the thing. All right, I'm over here. I can try to get another fare, or I can try to... We've never once listened to the radio. Let's just listen to the radio for giggles. Your finger is poised in front of the car radio. You're trying to find something to listen to. Listen to music. Listen to the news. Don't listen to anything. Let's do the news. You happen upon the nighttime news. Conjure a spell. Kapow! In a vox pop about the judge, a bystander brings up the fact that the police have still not arrested the homeless man seen near the crime scene. You raise an eyebrow at this bit of news. You didn't know that. As soon as the news is over, you turn the radio off so that the cab is silent again. Alright. So he was seen near the scene of the crime. I mean, we knew he was a suspect, so that's not that weird. Maybe it's weird that they didn't arrest him. But again, they didn't. If they didn't have anything to arrest him for, did we lose more money than we made? Oh my God! You confessed to Lidovine you were one of the killer's victims. Yeah, we've been very honest with people about who we are. We've been very honest to people about who we are, and I don't know. But didn't pay you well and then left. Yeah, he didn't pay me at all. I've met Lenny. Or Leonie. Appreciated my attitude. Well, that's good. Well done. We've met Cater. I don't think things went over as well with Cater as I thought they were going. Cater taught you a very colorful insult. Did he? I actually don't remember it. I've met Shinji. That didn't really go anywhere at all. You have met Hervé. Yeah, didn't tell us anything about Shinji. I'm a little nervous about what we've told Hervé. Helped you with your... He did help. He gave us some info. I just don't think it's him. He makes me a little nervous because he is a suspect, because he is on edge, and because of the radio and everything. Makes me nervous, but I still don't think it's him. We've got so much against this guy. What's his face? Take a few minutes to update your board with new clues. A bus goes by, making the walls shake. You take your shoes off before getting to work. I don't think we actually have any more documents. Yeah, we have no more documents. Everything we have is like hearsay. It's Paul-Marie Fragonard that is the guy that we are leaning toward. Killer wearing black gloves. He's killer wearing black gloves. Is he known to wear black gloves? Why is that actually attached to him? Oh, he's actually divorced from a judge. Interestingly enough. See, that feels a little too on the nose. So we definitely know it's not Piero anymore. The cops called in and said that they've cleared him. He's been cleared, so it's not him. And then we keep hearing that it's a guy. I was really leaning toward Claudia because she has some connections to the junta, and one of the victims was a junta colonel. So she has motive to attack at least one of her victims. At least one of them. And she's old enough that her wrinkly hands would match, but we keep hearing he all the time, so I'm leaning toward him. Hervé's got very little going for him, very little, other than like a stolen wallet. Victims tend to be wealthy, so maybe like in theory he could be robbing them. He was seen around crime scene 2 and 3. And his motive has something to do with the Richtenden scandal. And then we've got Salim, who's a well-known lawyer, which, you know, again, with the judge, law, lawyer, that kind of thing. He was also the defender on the Duar case. But before he was a defender on the Duar case, he defended molested kids, and one of the victims was a child molester. So it's like, okay, he could be going out on the town trying to murder child molesters, which to me doesn't sound like a bad thing at all. All right. But the black glove connection, okay, that doesn't seem to be helping at all because it's connecting me to everybody. So I'm gonna just turn you off because that's not actually helping me at all. But I'm looking at everything. I'm still leaning toward Paul. All right, that's all I really got. I didn't really learn a lot more that's new to me. Paul's got like a bunch of old police weaponry. It just seems like it matches. Wrinkly, he's got old police stuff. And the killer seems to be professional. The spent bullet case isn't connected to anybody, but it should be because we were told that it belonged to an old gun. That's all we really have. All right, I'm gonna end the night. That's all we really have. I don't have much. I didn't gain much that night, honestly. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. I'm leaning toward Paul. It's got to be Paul. This looks so complicated. You must be smart or a magician. We've built up slowly. God dang it! I want to be able to hand gesture. Green screen. I hate you, green screen. Hang on. Let's see if can I do something about this. But you build up your clues slowly over time, so that helps. Okay, so if I put up a hand, can I get the green screen to show up? Can I get it to show? Oh, now I can't. Oh, I hate you, green screen. Oh, I hate. Oh, now it's not showing up. Okay, well, fine. Screw you, green screen. Okay, whatever. All right, I'm gonna go grab my coffee. I'll be right back. Give me just a second. Ooh. Oh, the serial killer has Mo. Ah! A little too hot. Just the way it should be. All right. Get a little comfortable again. There we go. Okay. I need to move this somewhere I can see a little bit better. There we go. That'll be fine. All right. Back into the game. New morning. The streets. New evening, really. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. And we're drifting off to sleep. Off into Betty Boo time. You open one eye. Someone flushes the toilet and you hear the pipe shake. One of them runs under your bed. You find the sound calming. We've already read that. You get up quickly. A few minutes later, you're outside your studio. Night 5. Officially night 5. I'm surprised we didn't finish off night 4 at the end of yesterday's thing, but I don't remember. I don't remember anything. We're surrounded by fares. We have plenty of gas to keep going this morning. And do we have any new eyeballs? Any new contacts? This lady's way down here, and I don't know why it's showing me her. I usually only grab people that are close by. Have we helped you before? Are you Ludovine? No, I don't think we ever knew what Ludovine's picture looked like. She just dived into our car one day. I think this is Emily and Lucy. Which I just, as much as I enjoy their stories, I don't think they're going to be able to help me at all on this investigation. She looks familiar. I want to go for her. She's closest. I want to go for her. She seems like she might be familiar. But I might need to look around for new people. Yeah, she's new. Angelique de Fondemiere. I don't know how to say that. I have to get back to the 16th. 10 kilometers, 34 euro. Let's do it. The next passenger getting in your cab enters in a cloud of extremely heavy perfume. She's got a dead fox on her neck. That's been out of fashion for a long time. Has he been killing breakfast? Not my cornflakes. Serial killer. I get it. I know what you're I see you. Hot. It's a well-known sound, one you often see advertised on the Champs-Élysées. Sure, why not? The woman must be in her 50s. She has impeccable posture. The fur she wears around her neck must be worth several days' pay. She opens her mouth. Good evening. Before you start driving, I just need to tell you something very... She purses her lips, attempting to stifle the word that is about to come out, then raises a finger. Shit. Oh, whore. She continues to look at you, the same smile frozen on her face. Does she have schizophrenia or Tourette's or something? She's just shouted gibberish at you, but her face hasn't budged. It's like she isn't even aware of what she said. She's probably got Tourette's. She purses her lips even harder. Doggy skin. She shakes her head. I am truly sorry. Please, hear me out. You're so taken aback that you find nothing to say. I am suffering from a major emotional trauma. It seems to have triggered very strong verbal episodes. They're exhausting, to be honest. I hope you can, understand. Please know that I don't believe a single word that I'm saying. Not a single word? Okay, great. She smiles. Tiny! It's my husband. She shrugs. Married for 25 years, 2 kids, a house on the coast, all sorts of fun plans for the future, and then... A sad smile flashes across her face. Eat it! She looks at you. Okay. I'm just saying, okay. Thank you for understanding. She grins for just a second. Here I am discovering how to live alone for the first time. At 50. Crazy, isn't it? Toilet brush up your bum. It's really not so easy. You bite your cheek to avoid laughing and start driving. With a bit of luck, your passenger won't say anything for the remainder of the ride. Your passenger heaves a sigh. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. For a second, you don't know what she's talking about, but then, wench! Some days are harder than others. It must surprise people. Oh, it certainly does. It's more the teasing. You see, cauliflower-shaped patookie. She looks away for a second, disgusted by her own coarseness. Our neighbor's son. She shakes her head. It's a long story. They're expats, Chinese. She works for Chanel, I think, and he for a big import-export company. I can't remember its name. A transatlantic... something like that, anyway. She sighs. She's getting annoyed with herself. Their only son used to come get help with his French from my husband and me. Now that we're separated, Rugrat! He still comes around, but he films me. Oh, he's discreet about it, of course. He slips his phone into the front pocket of his blazer and films me. He must think it's funny. And old lady who swears and calls everyone... She stops, purses her lips. When she opens her mouth again, she's glassy-eyed. Maybe he even shares them with all of China. Shit, it's a Rugrat! Her mind wanders for a second. We don't really have any idea what goes on over there. My daughter and I might have become a sickness internet star there. You raise your eyes to look at the passenger. The last syllable hangs in the air, oddly accentuated. I doubt they'd broadcast that. Her voice becomes screechy. You think? I don't know anything about any of that. It's beyond me. She raises her eyes abruptly to look at you. And plus, Death Pea! And plus, I'm not a good influence on this boy. He's learning swear words. That's no way to learn a language. Especially not French. The language of love. The language of poetry, of ballads. She smiles a very sad smile at you. Dick cheese! Her smile vanishes. That's why I no longer see my grandchildren. My son thinks it's better we wait until it passes. I think he's right. She stares right into your eyes. You can tell she doesn't believe what she just said. It's not because of the divorce. They don't support you. We'll do that one. Yes, of course. Jean Roland is a dear. Felches! But I don't want to bother him with this. He has his problems and I have mine. She lets out a little laugh, clearly designed to end the discussion. You're not far from your destination. In the back, your passenger is dousing herself with perfume. Lay off the little scent, lady. The smell is dizzying, overpowering, oppressive. Does this bother you? A little bit, but... No, of course not. She blushes briefly. You never... Even if it does, you don't say so. I've been wearing this hairy turd perfume for 25 years. It's such a part of me, I don't even notice in it anymore. It was the first present my husband gave me. Depends on how you still feel about your husband. Might be time for a change. Change? My perfume? Undersock, why? He left you? Your remark hurt her. You can tell right away. She lowers her eyes. What of it? He doesn't own this perfume. It's mine. You pull up in front of her building. She hands you the fare, but doesn't move. Everything okay? Yes, it's just... I'm always anxious about going home so late. No one is there. But... No lights on. Every noise seems suspicious. Flabby queef! She pauses. Could you wait until I'm home before you leave? Her voice suddenly very deep has a tone that makes your hair stand on edge. Sure, absolutely. Thank you. Your passenger leaves the taxi and walks toward the lobby of her building. You watch her every move as she walks the dark meters between your taxi and the door. You chose not to mention that you do this for all your clients. Since the attack. Since you got hurt. Since you can't sleep like you used to anymore. She waves to you as the door closes. You have just enough time to get a glance of the white marble and shiny copper stairwell. The door slams. I don't know if we said the right things to make her feel okay, but she gave us a fantastic tip. I don't know if that's just because she's extremely wealthy, as it seems to be the case, but I will take the money. Maybe we'll see her again, and maybe I can clear things up with her a little bit. It's just that... I don't know, maybe I should have said anything about changing the perfume. But, you know, if she's always thinking about being alone and stuff, maybe she needs to, you know, mix things up a little bit. And, I don't know, see new people or something. I don't know, move on, you know? I don't know. Maybe she doesn't need to move on. Maybe the scent is more important to her than her husband. And maybe I overstepped there. I don't know. Maybe I'll never know. Hairy turd. She is so rude. She's not trying to be rude. She's got, like, Tourette's or something. She's suffered trauma. You're so close to 1,000 share points for hat tip. Are you? Are you really? I just made those last night. I have no idea if those are good prices. I have no idea if anyone wants to do that stuff. But I made them. I made those last night. Alright, so here's the thing. This lady is my closest fare. But Hervey's back. Oh, I gotta go for Hervey. We gotta go for Hervey. He's been around at a couple of crime scenes already. He thinks he's seen the killer. He might have more information. He's probably not gonna pay us, but at least we're not going very far. I need a ride, cabbie. All right, let's do it. The door opens. It's Hervey. He greets you with his bizarre verbal tick, as usual. Hey, good to see you again, Jen. Hi, Hervey. You start the engine. That or he's gonna murder us, but I don't think it's him. The passenger in the backseat is whistling a funny tune. He's in a pretty good mood. You look good. Yeah, thanks. Some days are like that. Everything goes your way. Hey, belly is full. Your buddies are around to help you. You're not cold. He gives you a smile. And then you know, you get good news. Oh, really? Really? Something you're glad to hear. Well, out with it then. Well, it's my ex-wife. She's just got married again and a real love story and all that. Just the way we like them. It's nice for her. He clucks his tongue and briefly rolls his eyes. Yeah, it's nice. She deserves to be happy. In the rearview mirror, your passenger's face clouds over as if what he was saying had just sunk in. Suddenly, between clenched teeth, he hisses, "Whore." You look up. Really? Huh? I thought you said something. No, He gives you a toothy grin. Suddenly, Hervey opens the cab door. You can pull up over here. I don't want you to get into any trouble. The guys in the squat can be a little on edge. You park the car and Hervey opens the door. Good night and thanks again, Ken. He gives you a smile. My name's not Ken. A moment later, Hervey vanishes into a graffiti-covered building. Its imposing Art Deco facade mesmerizes you for a moment, and then you start the cab. Now, that didn't get me very much info at all. I probably said the wrong thing there. Oh well, it's fine. I don't mind. We were trying to see if we could suss anything out, but he seems to be in a good mood. Although we may have just accidentally soured his mood a little bit, but I think he's in a good mood, and that's a good thing, because that means he's probably not plotting to murder us. So I think that's probably a good move. Oh my god, do I go see Lucy and Emily? They're not gonna have any information. They're gonna have nothing for me. In fact, they kind of make me uncomfortable. Okay, well, is this the... Are you the mathematician? No, I think the mathematician... No, I don't think we met you. I'm trying to remember who you are. I don't think we've met you. Have we met... Who have we met? I think most of these people we haven't met besides these two. If I keep following their story through, do you think they'll get any information for me? I don't know if they're rich. I don't think they're going to become victims anytime soon. This guy, I want to know more about him. I think we need to meet someone new. Let's try her. I don't think... She's pretty close. Maybe I should have gone for her. I think she's closer. We'll go for her. She's pretty close. And I don't think we've met her yet. Grace Nogo. Ivory, please. Distance 869, 30 euro. Let's do it. We need more people we haven't met because I'm not getting a lot of info. You've redeemed the I tip my hat to you. I tip my hat to you, sir. And or madam. Big louder. I don't know why. I tip my hat to you. You have redeemed the hat tip. Your next passenger has been crying. Oh no. She stares at the floor and gives you an address in the nearby suburbs. You've just started driving when her telephone rings. The ringtone is familiar. Yes? There's a pause. Her tone is sharp and curt. Yes, I'm on my way home right now. She pauses, holds her breath. Yes? Another pause. She sounds annoyed. No, I took a taxi. On the other end, a voice gets louder. Who's paying? Well, I am. I don't want to take the bus home tonight. Come on, lay off. A new round of criticism begins. Look, can you just lay off? Yeah, we'll talk about it when I get back. She holds the phone away from her ear, ready to hang up, then pulls it back. Yes, I'm here. She finally glances at you. There's no need to scream. I can hear you. I told you we'll talk about it when I get home. I'm not going to say anything. She rolls her eyes. Oh, come on. My life is not ruined. I mean, I failed one exam. Don't worry. There'll be others. Oh, wait. I think I could have told her that we're coming through a tunnel. That would have given her an excuse to hang up. Ooh. Maybe I should have done... Oh, well, it's too late. Come on. All right. Their voice raises another notch. I'm going to have to let you go. Here, we'll go for it. We're about to enter a tunnel, miss. She smiles. No, that was the driver saying we're going to be cut off. No, he seems normal. Ma, I said, it's break. She hangs up. Thank you. You hear a ring, the same tune as before. The young woman hesitates, turns the phone over in her hand, and decides not to answer. Sorry. I know that tune. No problem. Say nothing. Sure. Do we know that tune? Do we? Her face lights up. It's Lacme by Leo Delibes. I don't know what that is. We gave a performance with this music. After hearing it so much, I just fell totally in love with it. It's such an incredibly soft piece. In the opera it comes from, the priestess Lacme and one of her companions go to gather jasmine for the temple, and you sense the love between the characters. And it's mutual. The two women sing and their words are very similar, but not identical. You sing? I don't know that. Sure, let's go for it. No, I'm a dancer. Classical, jazz, and other various combinations. I've danced since I was a little girl, but I've been dancing even more these last few years. I love it. A friend and I did our own choreography to a few scenes from the Lacme Opera once. We did a show. It was Really exciting. The smile that appears on her face seems to have erased the tears. Okay, I think we're going the right way. And thanks for earlier, by the way. I missed the last metro, and to be honest, I really don't want to go home. My mother is waiting to have a long, very long discussion about my future, my career, all the sacrifices she's made for me. She's a cleaning woman in one of the fancy office buildings at La Defense, and I failed my bar exam, so she thinks... She stops herself. She was going to make a joke, but something keeps her from doing so. Her smile vanishes. She thinks I'll end up as a cleaning woman at La Defense. Your passenger sighs. She thinks I dance too much. She thinks it's Lacme's fault, but mostly she thinks it's my fault. She heaves a huge sigh and stares at nothing outside. I studied. I worked hard, but I didn't pass. I just don't believe in all that anymore. Now be warned, what I'm about to say will sound cliche, but I want to be a dancer, not a lawyer. I want to dance! My mother doesn't understand. You must work to earn money in order to succeed. She takes a breath. Sorry, I didn't mean to unload on you. I must seem like a pretentious little princess. Not at all. Thanks. Thanks for lying. What? Is it a lie? Because I don't think that's what that little smile means. I don't think that's what that means. I don't think I lied. She smiles. Alright, she's just accusing me of lying. Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. The address she gave you is not much farther. I mean, I know I owe my mother a lot. I have to stop being so self-centered. Blah, blah, blah. And I have to pass this sucking exam. She clicks her tongue as if to force herself to stop talking. Instead, she keeps going. Mind you, she came to my Lacme performance. She pauses, tries to find her words. She saw me dance, and when we left, it's kind of dumb, but she didn't say a single word. And I think I've never felt prouder. Her silence spoke 1,000 words. You pull up to her house. She takes her time getting out of the car. I don't know why I said all that, but it felt really good. Thank you. She disappears. Her tears have definitely vanished. Okay. It's not the most amazing tip I've ever had, but I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. We didn't get any information or intel out of that, but I feel good about it, I guess. Hopefully she pursues her dreams, especially if she's good at it, then go for it. There's no reason she can't be a dancer and occasionally work in law. You know, she can probably make both happen. You know, if one needs to pay the bills while the other thing is still trying to take off. Maybe, you know what I mean? She could work both. She could go wholehearted into one of them. This guy we've met before. Oh my god, that's way out of our way. So I'm thinking her or her. I'm going to go with this one. It's slightly closer. So what is this nonsense? Sun Tzu, welcome to the strip. So glad you could make it. We're a taxi driver. We meet a bunch of people. We're trying to gather information from the streets to help us solve a crime. We were attacked by a serial killer, and now we're trying to find out who they are and gather evidence against them so that we can put them away. But while being a taxi driver. It's pretty good. You learn there's a lot of little stories about people that don't really help you with your serial killer thing. But you never know. You never know when someone's going to have a bit of information that's going to help you. We've gotten loads of information. I think I know who did it. We're working with a police officer. We've been blackmailed to help her. That's kind of the thing. But we're working with a police officer, and she's going to call us in another day or two to see if we have evidence. She's been very threatening. I think we need to wrap this case up pretty soon. Out of nowhere, you hear a voice whispering in your ear. Oh no, it's not gonna be me, is it? Ludwig, this is where I died. Was Ludwig one of the victims? I don't remember the names of the victims. You brake hard. There is no noise in the cab. No noise outside. Excuse me? A silhouette appears on the back seat of the cab. Its features appear one by one as if drawn with a paintbrush. So much suffering. You squint. A little boy. Oh. Is that one of the kids that was molested by one of the victims of the serial killer? Because the serial killer killed a guy who was a known child molester. So, like, I don't feel bad about that person dying, really, but why is this coming up right now? Because I don't... Because because the only reason that evidence will matter is if the serial killer turns out to be Salim, which I don't think it's Salim. He's too young. We think the serial killer is older. Would you be so kind as to drive me? Here's the thing. On the one hand, if I follow this through, maybe I'll learn something that maybe I remember. On the other hand, if I'm hallucinating right now, if I'm like hallucinating, anything I learn from this could be useless information. On the other hand, if an actual customer came in and I'm hallucinating that person as a ghost, if I yell get out and it turns out to be an actual real person that I'm just hallucinating as a ghost, that would be a problem. Let's just follow this. Let's follow this where it goes. Where to? Where are we going? Let's just follow this. Was it the butler that did it? There is no butler, so that is unlikely. Very well. Let us drive then. I need to know where. The boy's silhouette flutters for a moment, then disappears entirely. You hold your breath. On the backseat behind you, the boy slowly reappears. You start driving. Silence fills the cab. You can't suppress the urge to glance in the rearview mirror. An odd smell wafts by your nostrils. Powder. Gunpowder. Okay, so we're delving into our own psyche, into our own memories about our own attack, because we were attacked by the serial killer as well. I don't know what the smell of gunpowder is going to do to help us. We already know the serial killer uses a gun to kill everyone. Like a dusty old cowboy just fired off 2 rounds right next to you. 2 rounds. Is that important somehow? 1 grazed our liver. I never learned about the other shot. That smell. The smell of death. The killer's smell. He watches you. You know something about the killer? Almost nothing. This murder is a bit too recent, I must say. It's all so new, too vague. The child in the back seat makes a strange little noise with his mouth, halfway between laughter and screaming. I'm going to tell you what I know. But don't forget, my friend. I am but a ghost. I'm in your mind. He raises his head a notch, chin straight. I'm not even a fossil. His voice suddenly changes like a record skipping and jumping to another song. Sometimes I slip into the Jardin des Plantes, into the dinosaur gallery. His silhouette shivers. I'm terrified of fossils. And the person you're looking for left their country, but never let go of their weapon. This weapon is cherished, loved, respected, cleaned. It was a present. He shrugs his shoulders like he's getting rid of everything he just said. Sad story, if I may. So sad. His shape flutters, fades. You quickly find yourself alone in the cab. The smell of gunpowder lingers for a second, wafting around you before evaporating. Hands on the steering wheel, eyelids heavy, foot on the brake, you slow the taxi down to a complete stop. Another second and you'll be ready to go again. A wave of elation washes over you. You can't explain it. It is warm and calming. You smile in spite of yourself. Once we get back to the pin board, we'll see if we can make sense of that. But that doesn't sound right. That makes it sound like the gun was inherited, which would have led us to believe it was Piero, because he had a father who was a cop. I don't think he came from another country though. That's the part that I don't remember. I don't remember what country Paul came from. I thought he was French. Now, the lady, I can't think of her name now, the lady that we suspected, she's definitely from another country, definitely has motive, but she's not a man. And everybody seems to think the judge is a man. Now, that could be a mistake, because I do have motive for her. We just don't know that she owned a weapon. Even we thought we remembered seeing the judge's hands were a man's hands. I mean, unless the lady has just man hands, I don't know. It's always the butler. Well, we'll see if we can find a butler's game to pin it on. We'll have to wait until we can see our pin board again before I can make sense of this. I think her last name was like Ocampo. Something Ocampo. So it could be her. Here, how far away are my fares? I think this guy might be vaguely closer than this fellow. Let's go for this guy. Seems like he might be closer. I don't know if it'll take us more time because we have to go over the interstate here or not, but interstate, river, whatever that is. we'll give it a shot. I'd like to go for the closest people possible. I can squeeze in more fares that way. Avenue de Seville in the 14th arrondissement. Only 4 kilometers. Only 14 euro. All right, let's do it. It's fine. It's going to take a while. You pick up your client right outside the entrance of a public hospital. He slips into the back seat and blurts out an address in an upscale neighborhood. Everything about him denotes fatigue. Voice, face, eyes. Judging by his clothes, you doubt he's a doctor. But you're well aware that appearance can be deceiving. Your eyes meet and you give him a smile. He doesn't respond. The ride begins in silence. In the rear view mirror, you notice your passenger's clenched fist, tight mouth, and twitching eyelids. Let's give it a second. You drive in silence, taking an occasional look in the rearview mirror. Your passenger is all worked up about something, oozing anger from every pore, about to snap. This isn't gonna go well. Let's do it. They're good at that hospital. Your words startle him. Excuse me? I was just saying, they're good at that hospital. They took care of me a couple weeks ago. He moves in closer, ever so slightly, as if to better stare at you. Nothing serious, I hope. You shake your head no. I almost want to tell the truth. I was shot in the liver. I was in a coma for a month. We'll call it a car accident. Ooh. I have an alarm going off on my phone. Hey everybody, it's 8 o'clock. He gives a brief, mirthless laugh. I hope it wasn't your fault. It wasn't. The other driver skidded on the ice and... His mouth curves into a hesitant smile. Empathy, perhaps? Ice? Has it been... Has it... Maybe it's cold enough for that. I'm not entirely sure what month it is. Utter silence. You try to read your passenger's thoughts in the rearview mirror. His head dips in a reluctant nod, as if hesitant to speak. He moves a hand to his pants pocket, feeling for something. No luck. He breaks off, sorry to have spoken, but his anger wins out. You can sense it beneath the surface, eating away at him. What is he so angry about, you wonder? You're right, the staff at the hospital is excellent. Especially the nurses, the doctors too. They're young and committed. Pretty unusual for a public hospital. He turns his gaze to the passing street with its Christmas decorations. Okay, so perfect. It's like December or whatever. Darkened windows and rare passers-by. You don't let your guard down. I work in the private sector. I'm a gynecologist, but my father... His voice shakes. I can't even begin to tell you. He lowers his gaze. You sense he's gone to some far-off place. Okay, so he actually works there, so I'm glad I said something nice about it. Then he comes around. The day I graduated from high school, my father shook my hand and said, "It's your turn now, to try to be as successful as me, but you'll never be a match for me." Oh. It could be his way of motivating him, but I don't know his father well enough to know that. Dog-eat-dog world out there, don't you think he was joking? I'll just widen my eyes. I'll let him keep talking. He doesn't like me. He hates me, really. He's always considered me an inferior being, like some kind of parasite, really. He's never forgiven me for going into the private sector. All told, we've talked maybe 3-4 times in the past 6 years. A chilling silence. Oh, I wonder if okay, maybe he works at a private hospital. I wonder if his dad is in the public hospital right now for some illness or something. Who reached out first? He usually did. Your passenger's jaw is slowly relaxing. He called to tell me an uncle or cousin had died. An uncle or cousin? Who was it? Sometimes it was just a pretext to make some new dig. Oh, you mean in the past, just this or that. He'd read my name in a magazine, wanted to make fun of one of my clients. He shakes his head. I treated a lot of actresses at one point. Forget it. He's going to die. He's only got a few days left. Generalized cancer. There's nothing more to be done. His new wife contacted me, asked me to come, so I did. Like a good son. He gives an acid laugh. He called me an idiot and roasted me in front of the intern. He didn't spare me a single thing. The choices I've made, my life, my work. I grabbed my jacket and walked out. He can die there, all alone. You don't mean that. You came because you cared. Your deliberate silence makes him uneasy. He diverts his eye, but his lips keep on talking, almost in spite of himself. The only thing that man ever gave me was hatred. I don't know what I did to deserve it. I worked hard. Everything I am today, I did it all without his help. He kicked me out the day I graduated. You can hear the muscles working in his jaw. Was that on account of the disease too? I didn't say anything about the disease. I didn't say anything about the disease. He remained silent. You can see his building at the end of the street. That was the last time I ever saw him. Pale and shrunken like a pathetic-looking rat. A small lab rat devoured by disease, his skin all shriveled up by the chemo. You park your car. Your passenger hands you the fare. Keep the change. He exits the car and walks away without closing the door. His footsteps echo through the quiet street and the door of his building slams shut. A moment or two pass and you get out of the cab to close the car door. You look up at the cushy apartments. The balconies are well maintained, some turned into greenhouses. You notice a few plants, no doubt looking forward to summer. You climb back into the car. Yeah, I think we should have said sorry or the disease or something. And we should have said anything other than nothing. Oh well. I didn't realize we were that close to his house. I was hoping that if I stayed quiet, he'd keep talking. That's what I was angling towards, and it didn't work. It did not work. That backfired, I think. Okay, I wish I could see the names of the people when I highlight over them instead of having to drive all the way to them and waste all my time making the drive. Is this guy familiar? Is that Salim? That might be Salim. Let's go ahead and have a word with him. It might not be Salim. It looks kind of like him. No, oh, Piero Bataz. No, that's the other suspect. It's the one that's been cleared. It's the suspect that's been cleared. But he was a suspect at one point in time, so maybe there's something we can get out of him, especially if he's drunk, and maybe we can get him to talk. You pull up in front of the address the central office gave you, a crepe joint, quite a popular one by the looks of the line spilling out the door and onto the sidewalk. You sit for a moment, the door opens and a group of 30-somethings comes into view. All the men and women are dressed alike, sporty, running shoes, jeans, small shoulder bags. They're officers from the Paris Anti-Crime Squad in plain clothes. You sigh. They're brutish types. Ones who like to race, tackle, clobber. Ones who ruin the afternoons you spent wandering around Paris in your teens. After a bit, one of them pulls away from the group and comes over to your taxi. He opens the door and collapses onto the back seat. He is stocky and of Asian descent. You can see his muscles through his thick winter clothes, which would normally freak me out because, again, our memories or whatever was like, oh, it's someone who came from another country or whatever. Didn't actually say which country, which is not helpful at all. So it'd be like, oh no, he's from another country. His dad was a cop, so that's why he would maybe have access to weaponry. And there's a lot of stuff kind of leaning toward Piero a little bit. But he's been cleared. So it can't be him. I mean, unless we find out that the clearing was wrong. And then tomorrow night, Boussette's gonna call me up and be like, never mind, we were wrong about Piero. It could still be him. Unless she does that. He smells like crepes and hard cider and his face is bright red. Hey, what's up? I live near Tairns. He chuckles as one of his colleagues rushes over to the taxi and pulls an imaginary gun from his coat. He points to his badge and screams at you with a big smile on his face. What a douchebag! The other cop eventually backs off and you drive away. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable about that. Sorry, man, we were having a going away party for a colleague, and celebrating Christmas, too. No worries, I guess. It's over. Your passenger smiles and puts his fingers back on his temples. I drank too much. Shit. I'm a lightweight, and they knew it. I think they were trying to loosen my tongue. His behavior changes abruptly, like he's just seen a ghost. One question. Yes? Do taxi drivers have some sort of policy or ethics code? Probably. Yes, of course. He smiles. Perfect. Because I don't know who to talk to about this, and I don't know, you look like a nice guy. I don't have like a non-disclosure agreement. No, nothing like, I'm not a therapist. He takes his head in his hands. Fucking shit. I've been lying to my colleagues for years. I joined the squad 8 years ago, and they all think I'm in a relationship with a woman who lives in Strasbourg, and that we're going to get married. He makes a strange yelping noise, like an air bubble bursting on the surface of a river. As soon as they get too close to Strasbourg, I start making up stories. We've almost broken up 10 times. I convinced them we're trying to have a kid, but it hasn't worked yet. He sighs. Screw it, saying it out loud is just the worst. His eyes are getting shiny. I'm gay. Yeah, actually, oh no, we knew that. We knew he was gay and we knew it wasn't out with the police yet. Somehow Bousette had that in her documents. I don't think it matters, honestly, but it might help us in this conversation, maybe? A deep sigh. I'm getting married in a few weeks to my boyfriend. Another breath, longer, deeper. No one at work knows, not a soul. Just get married, and then when everyone questions you on it, just say, no, I've obviously always said it was a boyfriend. You guys are just crazy. Just totally gaslight all the other police officers into thinking that they were all wrong. Oh, man. That would be that's the move to make. That's the one. The next sentences come out in a rush. He holds his breath the whole time. I like men. I've always liked men. But I work in a police station and listen to their comments, to their jokes all day long. When we catch a guy who's never done time before, we tell him briefly what he should expect. Oh, like the drop the soap thing. We talk about the violence, about the... Finally, he breathes in again. I say we because I'm in on it. Because I can say fag any time of day without any prompting. The word rolls off my tongue completely naturally. Fag. He finally looks you in the eye. They're not mean. I assume you mean the police. Who? He shakes his head. My colleagues. My colleagues aren't mean people. They're cops. Not mean, just doing the job. He manages to flash a tiny crooked smile. You know what I'd really like? He pauses. I'd like to have them over for dinner. Everybody on the squad. They could see my place. We could play a board game, something normal, you know? And they could meet James. He's your husband-to-be? He takes a moment to think about your question. Yes, soon. He smiles at last, a genuine smile. Can you believe it? We're getting married in 2 weeks. I wanted to do the husband one because that proves that we were listening to him. I was a little worried there that when I said who earlier, he was going to be like, what, weren't you listening to me? After living together for 9 years, for 9 years, he's been willing to live in a lie. That's a long time. That's a long time to be living in this pretext of having a girlfriend. He understands? Does he hold it against you, James? He's English? I don't know if that matters. I'm gonna go with the he understands. It's wild, but yes. He knows I love my job and couldn't possibly do anything else. He loves me enough to let me keep lying. He slowly shakes his head. But I can't go on like this. I have to. He freezes. Shit, my head is spinning. I don't feel so good. Why am I telling you all this? Why? He grabs onto the seat in front of him. Sometimes it's easier just to tell a complete stranger everything. Hey, can you pull over? Sure, maybe he's gonna throw up. Achievement unlocked. Le flic. You immediately stop. He opens the door and leans the top half of his body out. He throws up. Yep. You open your window to air out the greasy smell of fried crepes and the sour scent of cider. A moment later, the cop sits back up. Okay, I'm all set. I got it all out. You start driving again. Yeah, I'm sorry, really. You know what, the way this guy carries himself, I think he's a fine guy. I don't think he's our serial killer. It's hard to believe. As long as it's not in my taxi. Breathe. Say nothing. It's all right. We'll do the breathe. Yeah, you're right. You nod while your passenger moans and quietly says, I'm sorry. Yeah, just be careful, okay? He pauses to catch his breath. Shit, I haven't barfed like that since last Easter. They made me drink this South African liquor, something with cream and cocoa. Nasty. I can still picture it. I was doing shots while they shouted my name. Karate Kid, Karate Kid. Your friends sound kind of racist. Karate Kid. He seems uncomfortable. It's my nickname on the squad. Karate? Yeah, I was a judo champion. And I'm a gook. Well, yeah, I mean, you can call yourself that because you're Chinese. I would not call you that. That would be racist. So, he runs his hands along the sides of his body like he's showcasing it for some for some home shopping network. So, Karate Kid. Yeah, I know, it makes no sense. It's racist. I mean, you know your friends better than me. So, like, if you're okay with it, but I feel like you're embarrassed about it, so I feel like you're not okay with it. It's racist. Yeah, well, yeah, a little, but at first, I didn't say anything. Maybe you should say something. Own up to having a boyfriend, own up to the fact that you're marrying a guy so that they can stop calling you fag all the time, and then own up to the fact that you're not okay with being called a gook and a Karate Kid. That's racist, and that's, I don't know what the other one would be, sexualityist. You're being abused, man. And now, I mean, I'm used to it. He stops suddenly. Everything's spinning again. Can you pull over. A repeat of last time. He opens the door, leans his head out, his torso, his arms. The sound makes your stomach churn, so you stare straight ahead. Can I ask you a question? More puke on the sidewalk, a little inside the vehicle. Oh no. Yeah, go ahead. Fine. Fine, shoot. He sits up, prompts you to drive. So, here goes. What should I do? Should I keep on keeping on? Should I confess? Should I invite them to my wedding and surprise them? He pauses. It's a long one. Be straight with me. What would you do if you were me? If you were in my shoes? I think you're being hard on yourself. You're hurting yourself rather than trying to solve the problem. You're not going to change your sexual orientation or leave your husband. So there aren't a ton of alternatives. You have to tell them, find a new profession, you have to leave here. I don't think these two are necessary. You just they need to know. They need to know that you're not okay with this stuff. Tell them. And tell them. Wow, I've got to tell them. He looks at you in the mirror. Can you take me somewhere else if you don't mind? I don't mind. Anywhere you want to go. My colleagues are at a bar. I'll go see them. Tell them everything. If I don't do it now, then I'll never do it. A smile of relief spreads across his face. It's not just the alcohol talking. Yes, but I think it's about the 10th time I've gotten wasted this month. You're right, I'm hurting myself. He gives you the new address. I need to tell them now. I feel terrible, but I think I'll feel better if I speak to them directly. I don't know if now is the best time, but you do you, man. His headache is apparently back and has knocked him out a bit. You're used to having drunk people in your cab. Actually, the majority of your Saturday night passengers are drunk. I don't know how to tell them about all this. From the tone of his voice, you can tell he's beginning to panic. Yeah, I don't think I'm ready. If I say, should I turn around, he's going to say yes, probably. Say nothing. We're committed. It's happening now. Your passenger stares hard at you. You can tell your silence is giving him doubts. I want to go home. He sighs. It's not a good idea to talk to them when my blood alcohol level is so high. Thank you. The remainder of the ride is long. I thought it was going to go the other way. You can see he's having trouble sitting still. Once or twice you sense he's about to break and change his mind. Then nothing. He appears to calm down and remains completely still, lost in his own head. You keep an eye on the road. You have almost reached your destination. In the backseat, your passenger is almost asleep. You park in front of a small townhouse. There's a light on upstairs. He's still up. I'm going to talk to James. He looks at you. I don't really remember everything I said, but thanks. He chuckles. I hope this taxi ride wasn't just in my imagination. Oh, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. He's not going to remember any of this. Nothing's going to change. He maybe should have done it right away. I screwed it up. He pays and gets out of the taxi. You listen to his clumsy footsteps on the cobblestones. He climbs the few steps up to the door, but before he has time to find his keys, the door opens. Warm, soft light floods the street. You drive away. It's a horrible... Why 36 cents? It makes no sense. All right, sure. If you're gonna tip me, darn it. All right, we have time for probably another go, right? I'm really curious about the Santa Claus guy. This guy, you've got the earbuds in. Have we seen you before? I'm not entirely sure that we have. Annabelle Robert. Charles de Gaulle Airport, please. 7 kilometers, 24 euro. Let's do it. That's actually a lot of euro for not a lot of distance, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Your passenger slips into the back seat, dragging a backpack that apparently weighs a ton. Do you want to put that in the trunk? She refuses politely with a shake of the head. Thanks, but I'm going to have to get used to keeping it with me. It's going to be on my back for an entire month. Oh? You smile and start the cab. A glance in the rearview mirror. Your passenger is rather young, and the camera around her neck looks very expensive. Is she a photographer? Her backpack, scarf, and clothes are fairly worn. Yeah, I don't think she's going on vacation. She kind of looks nervous about it. Where are you heading? She doesn't answer right away. She lowers her eyes. I'm on my way to Greece to join an NGO rescue vessel. Oh. An NGO? An association that helps migrants trying to make the crossing. And I'm going to do a story on them. Oh, are you a journalist? She smiles, the first since you set off. Yes, a photojournalist. They make the crossing even in winter? They make the crossing whenever they get the chance, regardless of the time of year or the weather. The EU has just closed its surveillance and rescue program. Only non-governmental associations are doing anything to help now. So I'm on my way. I volunteered. I even made a fuss to get the assignment. Her tone of voice is increasingly shrill. I read first-hand accounts. I talked to journalists who have worked on the subject. I can't just ignore the whole thing. She gives a short laugh. I even played a video game about refugees. Beautifully done, really powerful. I knew I couldn't just sit back and watch. This was my chance to show the world what's going on there. Your passenger's phone starts to ring. Oh, sorry, As she glances at the caller name, her face freezes. She sighs, a troubled smile flickering across her face, then takes the call. Hi, Dad. I'm in the cab. Right. Yeah, I told you. I tried, but he wouldn't change his mind. Come on, Dad. I already told you I'll be fine. They wouldn't be sending me if there were... She moves the phone a bit farther from her ear. Come on, Dad, stop. Dad. Listen, everything's going to be fine. I'll be there for 20 days with a group of professionals who have been doing this for years. That's right, a group of rescue professionals. Would you just stop? She sighs heavily. It's no use. She's been doing this road 1,000 times. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. We're about to get to a tunnel, mademoiselle. You're going to cut out. The young woman looks up at you in surprise. Then her face lights up. We've done this once before. Did you hear that? I have to go. I'll call you back as soon as I'm... She is interrupted again. That's right. I'll call back. She hangs up wide-eyed and breathes a long sigh. My parents, they can be a little much at times. She smiles. Anyhow, thanks for jumping in there. You can sense the tension, the wave of frustration and anxiety welling up inside of her. Her unhappiness and anxiety are palpable. She closes her eyes, collecting her thoughts, trying to dispel her negative emotions. If I only had a little time. Time for what? Time to do yoga. It really helps me relax. It's an amazing way to unwind, to calm down and release tension. There must be a yoga room somewhere in the airport. I can pull over if you'd like. It's raining out. Okay, why not? She looks at you closely, not sure what to think. What do you mean? There's a gas station up ahead, a rest area for truck drivers. There won't be anyone there right now. All right, sure, why not? There's no more talk for a few minutes. Your passenger glances out the window every now and then. You drive past the gas station, the main building, the trucks, then get to a small quiet rest area. A clearing, lit up by your headlights and the moon, suddenly appears. There's no sound, the air is cool, the young woman leans in towards you. Oh my god, are we about to have a yoga sesh? My guys, my guys. Am I gonna join her? Can we both do the yoga? Is this the place? You nod. It looks like we're about to set her up to be murdered in this rest area where there's no one in the middle of the night. It's incredibly calm, as if we were in the middle of the woods. Her eyes take in every detail, every tree and bush. Do you come here often? This is super if I was her, this is so many red flags. Every now and then, it's perfectly safe. Whenever I can, say nothing. I just do not like the smile responses. They're always super creepy. And it's perfectly safe. No one said anything about it being dangerous, so that's just suspicious as heck. I'm gonna say every now and then. Saying nothing would also be creepy. She nods. She understands. It's so quiet. Even in the middle of winter, it looks so peaceful. She reaches for the door handle. You won't leave without me, will you? Of course not. She gets out of the cab and puts her things on a picnic table. The wind is chilly. She shivers. She gives you one last look, then closes her eyes, and then vanishes because she was never there. For a minute or two, you watch her doing yoga exercises. Her eyes remain closed. Her face gradually starts to relax. A truck behind you pulls out of the rest area. This place has a calming effect on you, too. Some summer nights, you come here to take a nap. I hope I didn't fall asleep just now. The young woman is stretching now. The headlights cast soft shadows among the dark foliage. It's kind of creepy just watching her stretch. It's kind of voyeuristic. It's kind of weird. I mean, she's doing it. She could have said no. In the winter, you smoke a cigarette or two, waiting for potential clients to land. The young woman gets back in the cab. She says nothing. There's no need. You sense she's recovered her calm and is ready to face the rest of her journey. You drive away, leaving behind the clearing, the rest area, the gas station. The young woman is sleeping. Hopefully we didn't miss the flight or anything. The road keeps passing by, and before long, you're approaching the airport. A moment later, you turn down the radio. The song fades. I'll pull up over here. It'll be easier for you to get out of the cab. You get to the airport drop-off zone. A couple of colleagues greet you with a wave. A few bleak-looking passengers are struggling with huge suitcases and car trunks. A security guard sitting on a luggage cart smokes a cigarette, clearly exhausted. Your passenger pays the fare, collects her things, but doesn't leave the cab. Thank you for getting me out of that horrible phone call. I love my parents, but they are suffocating. It could have gone on for hours. So, thank you. I have to go now. I have the feeling my parents are going to call again. Might as well go in where it's warm and I'm not a disturbance. Take good care of yourself. I will, promise. She gets out of the cab with all her gear. Your eye follows her as she heads to the terminal. The airport doors close behind her. You sit there a minute or two all by yourself. There's no one around. May as well head out as soon as possible. Ooh, that's a very good tip. I will take that. Thank you very much. All right. And it's almost about 8:30. I have to stop now because I have to go get ready for work. Short one this morning. It was a short one this morning, but it's all the time I have. So that's going to do it for today's stream. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do all the things. But whatever you guys do, I want to thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, wash your hands. Bye.